All right, so this is a 2019 Ram 1500 Limited. And I don't think there was a box not checked on this build. They got pretty much everything. Really stock. It does have like some more aggressive tires, and then I'll talk about the muffler when I'm underneath this bad boy, but it sounds great, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. There's no drone. A highway, you barely even hear it, but when you're in it, you know this thing's got the Hemi. Paint's in pretty good shape. The Mopar's got a bit of orange peel to them, for my opinion, but really it looks good. There's no dings, no real scratches. Doesn't look like it's been beat up in a parking lot or left in parking lots very much. There is some scratches like on the plastics of the mirrors, but nothing like absurd. So it looks good overall. Got the nice wheel package with the black on there. I really love like the black insert on here. A little bit of scuffing on there, but nothing like absurd. They're stock wheels, so I know people don't really pay attention to a lot, but like things like this on like an aftermarket wheel will drive someone crazy. So it's depending on you. They're kind of all around the vehicle. They're not nice. There's some good hits, but they're not terrible. Tire on this guy, I did take some better pictures. Some dry rot, some cupping on the outside edge. It feels like this is a little bit sensitive on the toe when you're driving around, but honestly it's got the assist to like keep you in your lane, so it's more or less like that kind of messing with you, in my opinion. When you brake really hard and stuff, it stays perfectly straight. Now I want to show you this. It's got a boo-boo on the power step. Power step still fully functional, but it did transfer that damage to the cab rocker here. Now to fix something like that, you gotta cut out this whole shell here of the cab, and it's a hefty repair. So I imagine that's not gonna show up on any kind of Carfax or anything, because I don't think anybody wants their truck to have something like that reported. Cab damage is no fun, so, but it's there. I have to be honest about it. It's not penetrating, there's no rust. It did scratch into the paint to metal, so it will. Just keep an eye on that. If you have a body guy, see if they can just repair it if you're into that. Most times, like if you do a real repair, you cut out this whole metal chunk, right? And sometimes it'll come up to like here, depends on the body shop, but it's this whole piece on there. So you might have a guy that can just bend it out real good and fill it and paint it over. Steps hide most of it, but it's there. That'll stop the exterior portion, and let's keep moving here. All right, so I always try to get you like a startup, and then I go through it while it's running, so just bear with this for a moment. Sounds good. Even on cold start, it sounded good. This does not have the broken manifold tick or anything like that. Doesn't tick or anything weird outside what normal operation on these is. You'll hear like the lifters actuate a little bit on these trucks, but it's nothing that's concerning. Usually if you're having an issue with it, it'll kind of have like a hard tick and a miss associated. Belts and hoses are in really good shape. The belt does have fraying at the seam where like they like mesh the loop, like make it from a belt to a full loop. I look at stuff like that and I just worry about high heat and how much that can stretch rubber. Battery's been replaced in the last couple years. I always look at these like fender bolts. They've not been undone. Has all the plastic clips and everything here. Oh, this is still original. The hoods or bolts have not been undone, so it doesn't look like there's been work done here. Frame rails and everything down here all look really good. All the hardware doesn't look like it's been messed with. Same thing here. It's gonna be like your ABS and electric steering and stuff. It did say that this fluid is a little dark. And you want to see like a gold in here. Now it's not bad. It's like a very dark brown. You usually want to do this every 3 years or so. When that fluid starts getting dark, that's what it's supposed to do. It's absorbing moisture into the system it's hyper conductive for moisture, right? And it's supposed to take the moisture out of the braking system so that under high heat it doesn't cause evaporation, which puts air into the system, which reduces brake pedal feel, right? So every 3 years I usually say do it. It's one of the most neglected fluids on these things. This being a 19 at 123,000, probably want to get up in there and do it. You're probably where I'd get the spark plugs checked on this bad boy too. All 16 on this bad boy. This side is a pain with the brake booster now and how far they put those. The other side's super easy. Radiator's in good shape. I want to try and get a good image for you, but these have the plastic tanks. You'll usually notice failures running down these little crimp areas. Oh, it's really, really good. So we'll keep moving here. Alright, so we're going to do our undercarriage. I start from the front here. Main thing I like to do is just make you aware that nothing's hanging down, sagging, or dragging on this bad boy. Everything looks pretty dry as well, cross members wise. Don't see a lot of rust up here either, so we'll just keep moving to each corner area. I like to go forward a little bit. There's the bottom of the engine there. So, keep moving here. We're at the driver front corner. That's going to be your body mount. There's going to be your cat on this side and your frame. And then that's your T-case. So as you can see, the exhaust is pretty much stock. They do have a little resonator up there at the front they added. And then they changed the muffler. When we get to that side, I'll get into it more. One of your controllers for the steps. This is where that damage is. I just want to get under here, show you there's nothing like in the floorboard or anything like that. And then there's no leaf. These are 4-link rear ends, so no leaf springs or anything. Looks really good. Nice and tight there. We'll go to the back. There's your factory spare on there. I don't know how well conditioned that is, or if I would even try it. Rear end on this bad boy looks pretty good. It might be hard to see, but that bump stop there you can see is a little torn up on there. These do have air rides, so something to look out at. Stock exhaust, except for that muffler we're getting to. And they just use the same routing back here, same muffler or resonator muffler back on the tailpipe. Alright, so we're on the passenger side. There's that muffler, and then the 4-link here. Frame in really good shape. The welds are not prettiest. I want to keep the eye on that for rust. It looks good. And then right here, body mount, frame, and your passenger cap. That is your transmission pan there, nice and dry. Oil pan there. I love how they put the sway bar right under the drain plug on these. It's awesome. You'll enjoy that. For older models, we're not like that. It was up further. We'll stop here. All right, we are on the interior. So this thing is loaded. So just bear with me here. We only get a few minutes to go through each section here. So, steering wheel. You've got adaptive cruise, gear shift, and your menu options, phone. There are volume controls and source controls on the back here. It does have the knob, auto 4 high, 4 low, works really good. Air ride, right now I have it all the way down, and then at some point during the video I'll like have this thing airing up while we're sitting here. Does have CDs, charge ports, wireless charge. This whole space for things. This whole space for things with another charger. This whole space for things. And then I believe this pops out down here like to make that like a more straight through. So you can like divide it or not divide it. It's up to you. Now you got this guy hiding that on there, and then this guy with all the stuff you need. Owner's manual. Navigation is trying to load. It was working earlier, so I'll just keep an eye on that and try to get back to it as we go through here. And then radio controls. This is the big screen. Climate control. You do have air conditioned seats, heated steering wheel, memory seats, power on both front seats. You got auto front windows, and then power mirrors, electric parking brake, pedals move to and back, and then I'm gonna hop out. Electric steps on this bad boy. I did notice we have like a little bit of corrosion here, but everything else checks out really good. It's like there's moisture just sitting in those mats. Some wear on here, nothing cracking or torn or anything, just it's been sat in a lot. You'll see on the door, like, I don't know if it was like a dog, like their little claws or something. A lot of imprints, you know, some wear, but nothing crazy. It does have the full glass top, opens up, but it is slow to close. So that is something to note. Back here, heated and air conditioned back seats. Nice leather. You do have these storage bins down here, storage bins down here, storage bin here. This folds up. Back window does slide open. And then more cup holders, vents and everything, more chargers. Pause here and we'll go to the other side. Try not to make this super brochure, but there's just a lot to go through. So the leather with the embroidery all around this is very good. I did note that we have like some light scratches. It's because I can't wipe it off and I can feel it with my nail, right? Another cargo bin on this side. And then under this seat, another shelf. This does have like the speakers all up in the ceiling and stuff too. More of that leather. And then on your passenger side, this is where your jack is if you ever get a flat tire. Seats in really good shape. Again, floors are in good shape. So, really good. We'll stop there. Alright, we are going to do the trunk bed, rear hatch. This is the truck bed. So I want to show you, this does have the damper tailgate. Ooh, smooth. This guy, slack. That guy, tight. And it doesn't seem like it's going down all the way. So I don't know if this is not the right cable or something. Something's different. This cable is not the same. They're not the same. Linered does have this cool hard guy here. The release is on this side, if I can find it. Just pull. So these you pull and it pops these caps loose, and then they flap, they like unfold. Do have these little tie down things inside the bed here, and then these lights all worked. I had them on. I think I timed out. Really good shape. I did notice we have some moisture in here. I thought that was kind of relevant since there is a topper that's supposed to keep that stuff out. A little bit of scuffing, some white marks on the liner, but no dings, dents, or anything damaged in there. This thing drives me crazy. But it closes nice and easy. It does have an electric switch here, so if your battery's died and this thing is got a topper like that, you might be SOL until you can put power to it. But it does have like a button on the key, and then there's also a button in the car for this. So you just back up, drop her, unload it, and go. Good stuff. Alright, we are on the inside portion here. So whenever we do our scan, I always like to point out here, we check to make sure this VIN is what matches to the vehicle on the car, and for our inspection, I always just like to make sure it's still the same brain. So we're going to go through, I always like to do the scan actively. For some reason it wouldn't let me go through each individual monitor. FCA has kind of put a lot of restrictions on some of their stuff. But here we can go through our codes. There's none here. I'll read it again. We do about a 10-mile drive. I got caught and had to do a little detour, so I did more than 10, which is beneficial. I mean, it's just more mileage, more to find out. So within the 10 miles, basically we're trying to get these monitors to go through their cycle, make sure everything cycles and gets the green check. Means everything's checking out, measuring as it should, right? So all these monitors are checking measurements on whatever they're monitoring, right? So misfire, like how many misfire counts, or how hot the cats get, or the O2 sensors, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's just making sure it stays in between or gets to a certain number within the next amount of time that it wants. Everything checked out good. That's what we like to see. So we're gonna keep going from here and stop here. All right, I got this all lit up. I like to make them look alive. It's also lifting up to its highest height while I talk to you. Overall, truck's in really good shape. Drives great. I really enjoyed this one. It's got all the bells and whistles you could think of. Paint's great, nice black. We did find some damage over on this side here. Some wear on the seats, a little bit of cupping, wheel damage. Tires got some dry rot, but beyond that, this thing drives great. Plenty of power. I love the sound on this truck. It's not loud unless you're on it, but even then it's not like obnoxious. When you're on the highway doing about 75, nothing, barely hear it. Got the nice lights. It has a great interior package on here, so looks good. Now I think we're all the way lifted up now. As you see, this is a much bigger truck all of a sudden. I swear it's like a 2 to 3 inch lift by just hitting the button on that thing. And then you can lower this all the way down for getting in and out. Got a ding here from like missing the hitch. And then up on the grill here, you know, there's like a little bit of the black chrome coming off, but the chrome underneath still there. So I don't know if that was like added or if it's like a plastic or something. Just kind of odd. Lights are on good shape. We did have a chip in the windshield. I always note stuff like that with these safety cars because those windshields are not cheap anymore. So let's conclude here on our 2019 Ram 1500.